Hello YouTubers, welcome back to my channel. Today I want to talk a little bit about the legendary perks. If you're not using them, this video is really for those that haven't decided to use them or don't think they should. I know when I first looked at or read or listened to them, they didn't really seem worthwhile. But there is one perk that really stands out to me, and that's a survival perk. I really love this perk. I think it's a nice QoS or quality of life perk for those that don't like eating or healing themselves. This has been one that I've actually put on all my characters, right? So I'll talk a little bit about it and why I think that, and you guys can decide. There's obviously a lot of other perks that you can choose from, and of course you're limited. But I will talk a little bit about that. But I do encourage you, if you haven't watched Angry Turtle's videos, he kind of goes over the perk system and he specifically tests the perks. So for you to look or decide on a perk, take a look at his videos. He does a set of 3 videos and a bunch of testing around that, and I'll talk a little bit about that as well. And I'll talk about some of the perks, the other perks, and how the system works for those. So why don't we get into it a little bit? So first of all, as you probably know, I'm on Xbox One, but to get into the perk, you just go into your Pip-Boy, go into your perk system, and you'll notice there is a legendary perks at the top of the screen. You just kind of use your up D-pad if you're on Xbox, and you can actually pull down. So one thing to note, this is really for high level, this is really end game type system. So if you guys, and even if you're not, right, I mean, even if you, I think you at least probably need to be level 50 to get that first slot, if I'm correct. So even if you're not, you can at least select one perk, right? So as you can see, I've got a bunch of perks here. So Ammo Factory, really cool perk. I can easily make normally if you make sort of 50 caliber rounds, it gives you 100. If you have the Ammo Smith perk, because these all stack, so it stacks with Ammo Smith plus Super Duper, right? So I did a test with 2-star. And I got easily 350, 400 rounds. I ended up with like 5,000 rounds. Normally I'd get like 3,000. So really a good perk to have, especially if you guys, I don't use guns. I'm a melee character. So when you're into guns, this is significant, I think. So you know, with 4-star, I noticed on Angry Turtle's video, he was getting like 550 rounds after he stacked everything. He could just make a crazy amount of ammo. So definitely one worth considering. Like I said, the survival perk is awesome because I hate eating. You probably noticed in my videos I eat spoiled food all the time. I couldn't care less about the cooking mechanic system. It's an awesome system for those that love cooking. I just love the different mechanics and options that people have in the game, but it's just not one for me. So I couldn't care less about that and healing and all that good stuff, right? And of course, when I'm eating spoiled food, I get sick, I get parasites, I get all that stuff. So this is, and I'll go into this a little bit, why this is kind of cool for me. But as you can see, it'll generate a chem every 30 minutes in this case. You can keep up to 5. You can put this on your quick menu. So let it go for a while. So once you selected this perk, it's going to take 30 minutes to generate that first chem. If you play in the game for a while, after 2.5 hours, I guess, you'll get five chems. And you know, if you're taking a chem every 30 minutes or so, you'll always generally have 4 or 5 of these typically while you're playing, and they never run out. So I don't think you need more than 1 star for this, and it'll heal your health. So it'll fill up your food and drink. So it'll quench your thirst. It'll fill up your food. It'll heal any diseases you have, and it'll actually heal your health. Is what I've seen so far, right? For those that are running bloody builds, it doesn't cure radiation. It doesn't cure other addictions like alcohol addiction stuff. So I think for junkie builds and things like that, you don't have to worry. This just does the basic stuff. And so for me, it's pretty awesome, right? I don't have to deal with food anymore. I don't have to go and cook food, or not that I really did that, but I would definitely be eating some steaks or some food now and then. But most of my time, I'd be eating spoiled food, right? And of course, I'd get some diseases with that, right? So let me show you. I'll come back and talk a little bit about some of those other perks, but let me show you. So you can see my food and drink on the right there. I have obviously I'm down on food in there. As you saw earlier, I have snot here at the moment, which is kind of one of those diseases. So when I have these cams, and of course I put these cams. So let me show you cams. So if you go down on your aid tab, and we go right down, and you're going to see something called a survival chem. So sorry, survival syringe. So there you go. I have it on my quick menu, and I just pop one of these, and I've actually removed. I used to have spilled food on my quick menu. I've removed that completely. I just have now survival syringe. I have right away, and I have pure water, purified water. But again, like if you're down on your health, all you need to do, and you saw I had snot here. We're gonna pop one of these. You'll notice straight away my food and my water have filled up. There, I've recovered from snot here, and that's it. That's all it is. I don't have to eat. I don't have to drink. I don't have to eat. I just love this perk. This is just such a freaking awesome perk for me, and for those that don't want to eat and deal with all that stuff. This is pretty awesome, right? So there you go. I just wanted to talk a bit about that. So let's look at some other perks. I want to just mention a couple other quick things before you go off and start adding perks. Every time you add a legendary perk, it'll take 1 point to get rid of. You generally, I think you start off with 50 points off the bat. It is account wide. So another important thing to remember is there's two good and bad things, I suppose. I think is your points are account wide, which means if you run in other characters like I do, I run 5 characters on each account. If you use those points, it's going to use them up for your other characters. So just kind of be aware of that. You will have to go earn those points. The other nice thing though is, in my case, fairly high level. Yeah, I'd be interested to know for those guys how many slots, if you like, in the 500 to 1,000 range levels, how many slots you get. But in my case, I'm just close to 200, and I have 4 slots here. If you go to a low level, so even though you have a low level character on a alternate character, you're also going to have 4 slots. So it's kind of nice that you can actually just add that. So the ones I've chosen here, survival, the 15% chance auto revive with 4 health if you're down in power armor. Like the Survivor, that perk. The electric absorption. If you're running power armor, you have a chance to recharge your fusion cores. The other thing I noticed, and it was quick, Angry Turtle was quick to point out, it also heals your health at the same time. So this one has almost like a double benefit, where as they're shooting you, it's you run a chance of charging your fusion core, but it's healing you at the same time. So it was interesting to watch that while he was being shot at, he was healing at the same time. It was almost like an invincible perk, right? So definitely something to worth look at. And of course, the other one I'll mention here quickly is the picklock one, which might be good for those guys that don't want to deal with locks and that. I just want to point that out quick here, if I can find it. Infiltrator, I think it's this one, yeah. So auto unlock your skill terminals, locks, pick locks. So this one will automatically, if you get this, I think your 4 stars, you just run up to a something that's locked, or a terminal that's locked, and it'll auto unlock it, right? Depending on which level have you got, right? So that's kind of neat. So if you're doing silo runs all the time, stuff like that, you don't have to deal with it. So there is definitely one worth getting. Just note, every time you want to go up a level, you need 50 points, I believe, to buy that. If you select a legendary perk, to remove it, you have to use 1 point, 1 coin. So just kind of keep that in mind. So before you, like I said, before you go ahead and just start selecting perks, make sure you pick the perk so you don't waste any coins there. And of course, to actually get coins, you have to, as you level up, of course, you can scrap these cards, right? So each one of them, I believe the ones with obviously the higher level stars, like this one, for instance, you'll get more points and stuff, right? So, and that's how you get coins, right? So there you go. I hope you found that useful. And if you did, hit the like button and consider subscribing to the channel. Let me know what you think of the Legendary Perk System. For those new guys, definitely start using them. The Survivor Perk is awesome. highly recommend it. And there's some other ones that you may prefer instead. If you do like the cooking and you don't want to, you don't want to necessarily use that survival cam, you might want to choose something else over there. But definitely do use it, and be aware it's across all accounts, and definitely something worth looking at if you're not using it today. Have a good day, guys.